Testing, testing. Can you hear me loud and clear? Seems to be
Yes, we
working.
can.
Hexy, how are you?
I'm okay.
Hello,
Very
Joe. Thanks for the thumbs up.
intrigued by a lot of the recent activity, which I'm sure we'll get into. But thank you. How are
Yeah,
you?
I'm very well, thanks. Yeah, keeping well. Moved home, and it's been a big event, but it's been really good as well. Something we've been waiting to do for a long time, so it's been pretty great. Busy though. Um, two things I just wanted to start off with. Well, three actually. Firstly, as always, the format is as we do it each time. It's worked out well so far. The conversation is what makes the VCs great, and people can just speak freely or listen, no problem. Um, Second thing is something that has been on my mind for a while. Around the issue of warns leading to bans, as has been over the years in the Telegram, and something I've been doing myself many times over. I've come to realize on this journey that the the idea of following an investment is extremely important to everybody if they are invested. Just because someone has a disagreement in main chat around issues that we cite as difficult to manage, politics, religion, the main causes of fallouts, which eventually lead to wars and then would invariably lead to a ban. It just, as this journey has progressed, it just seems more and more unnecessary as a course of action, when in actual fact, it's why the mute function exists. I don't feel like being judge and jury where somebody's investment is concerned and what I think is really their right to follow it. Just because we don't agree on something doesn't mean they shouldn't be able to follow the news. And by extension, that is good for all of us, no matter, we're all from different backgrounds, different ages, different faiths, different political leanings. One thing we have in common is this journey, and I think everyone should have a right to follow that. The exceptions to the rule are impersonation of other members, the pornography, and those looking to genuinely extract, the thieves that are out there, and we've caught a few, as I'm sure many of you can see. So over the next while, and you'll see it in effect beginning today and yesterday, actually, some of these bans are going to be reversed, and those that were banned for reasons I mentioned there a minute ago are going to be able to follow their investment. So you'll see a little bit more of that. I just think it's far, far better for all of us as a community to be able to follow our investment. It's very important to people. What was the third point? Yeah, just a little thing, but Crypto Girl made an interesting little post there. It just read about the Maxis. Poor Maxis will be in despair once PDAI flips PulseChain. It's true. This tribalism is going to bring itself to the fore in some degree, and I think we have an opportunity there to encourage people who may have looked at DAI one way to encourage them to look towards and engage with the people that have the skills that connect the dots that are in this community right here, and they're active today. Nine Iron. I think Based OG made a great post there earlier too. It's worth reading and just sort of taking on board. And I don't think there's any reason. Like for me, I'm not in. I don't do the tribal thing. I think everyone finds their direction at the right time that suits them, and I try not to get involved in that Marxism stuff. It's very energy draining, but people are going to come looking, and the people that do get it, they won't be. They won't be. We won't be having to manage any of that. You know, I'm sure many of us hold hex and all these other coins, and we have DAI as well. You know, there's a lot of people like that on the hex side. And, some people are going to come looking for answers, and I think it'd be better not to shout them down, and we can we can foster some growth and encourage some people. So there's an opportunity to do that. I think it's very positive. That's the only three things I wanted to cover. So that was it. And yeah, it's a good day. Good price action and stuff like that.
Yeah, well said, Osprey. Well said. Just on the tribalism thing, about 4 years ago, I went to a hex meetup. This was well before any of us had even heard of PDAI, and actually, I met a number of people who are now, you would consider them kind of Maxis and PDAI haters, and they're actually fundamentally quite decent people. It's like there was another significant thing probably 6 years ago, wasn't there, around COVID, where everybody had a very strong opinion on one thing. But I do think time is a bit of a healer, and would be better for the community if we sort of all move in the same direction. So same as you, people are allowed to change their minds and allowed to have opinions. But I think it would be better if we accepted people rather than saying, "Oh no, 3 years ago you kind of said you didn't like PDAI." So agree with that.
Yeah, well said, Hexie. I think it's the way to go. It actually creates for less work for everybody. You know, less you can be thinking more about things that matter and dealing with things that matter too, like good conversations. And because there are plenty of great conversations taking place in chat. I think that energy is better focused on that stuff. So
And one thing
yeah,
I want
good.
to ask Osprey, and I don't know if anybody else can respond, is, I'm very excited about Nine Iron's posts, and he thinks he's figured it all out, etc. But I mean, to be honest with you, he posts these diagrams on X, and then there's all these discussions about L2, and I haven't got a clue what's going on. Maybe I'm just the biggest peanut brain in the group, but if anybody could give us a hint of a TLDR, what might be going on, I would certainly be grateful, and I'm sure there'd be others.
You're not alone, Hexie. There's a lot of people in the same boat, and I am also. I spent last weekend looking through all sorts, and I am still confused. I see, we see price go up, but that doesn't. It's not going up a lot. Um, I'm invested. I'm invested here. I think I've covered this before. I think we've spoken about it, but like why I'm invested is kind of fundamental stuff. Just really patterns of behavior is why I invest. I'm a lot more comfortable watching patterns of behavior and making decisions off that basis. I know that there's probably two or three people in here even now that have a better take than me. But I'm watching and trying my very best to understand what I see. What I do follow is distribution data, and I've seen some quite I wouldn't say significant, but I've seen the pattern change over the past few weeks, and I find that very interesting. It feels like it does read like the die the die itself, the die coins are in the hands of people that want to retain them more so, and more so this side of March gone. That's how it reads. So
So Osprey, you always used to say that kind of wallets, the larger wallets, I don't know, let's just say over 10 million generally were holders or were gradual acquirers, and the ups and downs of price action were the sort of trading wallets somewhere between sort of 1 and 10 million. Are you seeing a change in behavior in what you've said previously then?
I've been seeing it the past 7 weeks. So it began with we had a couple of small like micro events where people were trading in that 1 to 5 million cohort, and you'd be seeing 100 plus addresses move in and out week to week. But that has ceased. Now it's just a small number in and out, 5 or 10, which is like what you'd expect to see, yeah. But now I'm seeing, or have been seeing, wallets or addresses in the 10 to 15, and that category. Actually, the cohorts around 10 to 20 are moving in and out in sort of 10 addresses at a time. They're going up and down those cohorts, and I hadn't seen that before. That was new. I have some data for last week and this week. I'm not sure if you saw last week's data, but I shared that too. And I've been sharing it with 9iron quietly each week. I kind of held off because I felt like I was seeing some patterns that I didn't want to misrepresent, you know? So I've just been sitting on it for a while and asking a few people, like, what are we seeing? I also did a full scrape of the entire holder list at the weekend, all the way down to 60 addresses just holding 60 DAI, just 60. And I think there's like 4,000 plus pages. So I have one from August last year, and I have one from this weekend, and I've sent both data sets over to Dr. Pegger, who I feel, I'm sure he'll answer about this. I'm not entirely sure what his approach is, but I believe he's using his Claude skills to work through addresses and spot significant events. So our idea is that distribution can be connected to certain addresses, and we're just looking for patterns. And if we can see some patterns, then we have like a better idea of what's going on. But something has been taking place. I feel like it's distribution going to the strongest hands.
Mhm.
It could well be another theory. Another theory is that certain people don't want to be found, and that shuffling the deck is the way to do it. And then I lean into that personally. I think that's what I feel I see when I look at the week to week changes. It's like shuffling the deck.
I must admit, when there was that, was it 125 million PDI that was, I'd say, stolen from that guy's wallet? I can't remember if that number was correct.
Yeah,
It did make me think. I bet my holdings are absolutely nowhere near that, but it did make me think about whether or not my personal holdings should be broken down across 2 or 3 different wallets, and maybe other people have thought something similar. And I don't know if that's the same type of information that you're talking about or not, but
it could be. Yeah, and part of it is that, like, and we never know how many addresses are attributable to an individual, but I think some people are more and more getting cautious as this journey progresses. So yeah, there's definitely an argument for that.
So just back to some of Nine Iron's posts recently. I mean, if anybody can technically break things down, I think I would really enjoy that. But then the other two things I thought were, well, three things. One is he said how he thinks he's figured it all out. I mean, that's so interesting, isn't it? And two is what is it? There are no roads where we're going. That kind of like reference potentially to the future, and then people have sort of put together July the 3rd, not giving any dates, etc. And then what was the other thing that he said? There was a third thing, that he thinks would be no breach of any kind of legal regulations if he thinks he understands the solution. So therefore there is no dependence on the Clarity Act. Those are three sort of interesting things for me. I don't know if anyone's got any comments on those or any different takes.
I'm trying to get Nuclear Herbs to come on to a VC, one that's perhaps dedicated to the legal side of things around clarity, whereby we wouldn't all be in here just discussing DAI, and to have him sort of look somehow aligned or on board. That wouldn't be what it's about. I think it'd be great for us as the umbrella term of just DeFi in general, to hear from someone with some legal expertise. I'd rather hear from an expert than anybody else about, if we're trying to get some concrete assessment, then I would rather hear from Nuclear Herbs than Nine Iron. But then again, we don't know what Nine Iron does for a crust either. Maybe he's a legal guy, but Nuclear Herbs would be great to listen to. And this is in part why you raise a very good point. That third point you raised, because it's what we're trying to do for these VCs. I think it'd be really good to get some people with expertise in specific areas to help educate us and answer for some questions that we find it hard to get answers to.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can get Nuke here, or if a few of us can sort of softly petition him to hop on, and it's not like an interrogation or anything like that, and it's nothing to do with alignment. It's more about just getting some good advice from good people in the same. We're all on the same. We're all on the same journey. We're all under this PulseChain DeFi umbrella. We can relax on the alignment side of things and just say, can we get your help? We're a very strong community here. I think we have some. I think we have some sway to ask people to come in and speak.
Yeah, he would be great. I mean, when I've heard him on other things, particularly the whole SEC breakdown, I thought he was fantastic. I mean, it is his job,
Yeah.
but I mean, he is brilliant. I don't know if he likes PDI or not, but that would, yeah, if he doesn't believe in the peg, then perhaps he would be reluctant to come on. But I agree with you, he'd be great.
Yeah. Let's see. I sent him a message on X, and we'll see. It's been a few days though. There's been no reply. He could be busy. He could be busy too.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Michael. I hope you're well. I'd say Michael's been busy.
Yeah, hey mate. Sorry, been
How's it going?
MIA, but I appreciate the what you've sent me. I'm just going through the chat now. How you been? All right.
Yeah, I've been good. Just saying, been moving house and trying to get all the amenities established, like getting a computer set up again and internet and everything. So,
New phone too.
yeah, and a new phone. That was a nightmare.
Apple for the win, eh? Tell you.
It's when you take for granted all your passwords and logins and everything, and you really have to keep a good record of things. Stuff you rely on.
Where's Doc? Is he around?
I don't think he is around yet, but he might come on.
Thanks for the logo. I'll add that logo to the site and update it with the new findings from 9i and whatnot. Every week there's a new kind of finding. It's hard to keep up.
Yeah. it's about whether, to me, it's about whether or not everything is linked. There seems to be a good argument for how a lot of these theories at the time, like the macro idea of studying a theory, it can be quite confusing. And then you go from point A to point B and they don't fully tie in, and it kind of loses trust of some people. But what I'm beginning to see is that when you do zoom out quite a bit, uh, these theories have a thread through them. Some of them have a thread through them, and he's on onto something, in quotes. And I do see that more and more. It's no slight on Nine, because he's clearly invested and clearly interested.
Mm.
And he's been here a very long time. But I do not have those skills. I just do not have those skills. So, like, we all have our way of interpreting data, or searching for things. I think we're lucky that we have a room full of people with different skills and research abilities, and ways of assessing information. So
Yeah, it's very complex, especially when you
yeah,
presented recently in that kind of diagram. It's very difficult to follow. So many layers. I think it's purposefully done so like that. You know what I mean? Like, even he said
yeah,
something like, "I'll explain later when you know we'll get the chance, the believers a chance to enter, or you know what I mean, and keep the non-believers out or whatever." Yeah, it's kind of seems as if he's withholding information from the community. Not in a nefarious way, in my opinion. In a way that kind of he slowly kind of releases information. So, um, I mean, he speaks about that too.
yeah,
It seems to be very deliberate, where the kind of slowly being dragged down to reveal what's going on. 967, when he launched the reserve protocol, and how that was a message there saying it's going to be a flat coin. Well, the idea of a flat coin, which was interesting, and that was actually launched. I think it was in 2024, and then he showed it a month ago or whatnot, which was interesting. 967 is part of that 5996 cluster, one of the pioneers. So it was interesting that he only released, even that was quite significant, and that was only kind of presented to us, a year later. Anyway.
Just on that subject, Michael, I mean, that's one, maybe it's a bit of a frustration of mine, and I don't know if it's a deliberate plan, but there's always seems to be this cryptic messaging throughout PulseChain, and it's kind of existed all since the very beginning. And I think Ryan does it kind of very well, doesn't he? He kind of hints, but then I struggle to work out what is kind of just genuinely a cryptic hint versus what is someone just posting something for the sake of trying to make it difficult to understand. Why do you think everything is so cryptic? I mean, I must have read 50 messages from 9iron since last Friday, and brilliant, genius, all the rest of it. I love every single time he posts, but I haven't got a clue what any of them mean. I don't know why, and I'm not stupid. I'm certainly not, but I'm not stupid. I don't understand why it has to be so difficult to understand.
I think if we believe 99 is an insider, I mean, you can have your kind of opinion on that or not. I believe he is. I think it's not an accident when he created his account. And I was going through his early tweets. It was kind of interesting to see what he was posting. Because if he is an insider, it kind of encourages and incentivizes holders to research the blockchain and learn more about decentralized finance. I think there's definitely a good act to kind of get everyone more in the know. It's kind of as a bit of a learning experience for all of us, especially me and everyone that's kind of getting involved. Even just the that you guys are doing, like you're learning as we go. I don't think it's an accident. That's my view on it. It kind of
Yeah.
it encourages you to do your own research. Just talked about that. Those who do their own research will be rewarded. There was some streams where he talked about that years ago. Richard, that is.
Yeah, that's a fair comment.
There's a good comment here by Miguel. Like he kind of says it right. If you read that last comment in Maine, you can't read the L2, and if everyone can read the blockchain, how come no one knows for certain how the peg happens? Maybe because that information isn't readily available. There are missing pieces we still cannot see, and that's by design. He says he's criticizing the claim that someone knows how it happens. He's been hearing the same thing on this channel now for a year, he says. That's where his disagreement is. I can understand that point of view.
But that then comes back to Michael's theory that 9 is an insider, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It leans in quite hard to it. Yeah. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if he were. Yeah.
Look at it, he could be
early.
he's nefarious. Being around for this long,
Yeah.
the stuff that he's holding is kind of he's definitely not nefarious. The cabal has that view that he's this to to keep everyone on board. It's just getting ridiculous, right? So
There's very early on in the Atropa chat logs, 99 is in there long before any of this, asking how he can help, how he can be of use and service. I always thought that was a very interesting. It's one of the earliest times I ever spotted a 99 interaction.
interesting. Was when the time that he created his Twitter, around July 23.
Yeah, I'll pull it up for you one moment.
I have I just have to get on my PC, but interesting too. The fact that he was doing that.
99.
See it moving up. The price 0.0022 now, and versus Pulse we're looking at 307. Very nice. And we'll flip the layer one PLS market cap at 350 Pulse per die, which is not too far away. Yeah, it's another 15% growth against Pulse, and we'll flip the market cap of Pulse chain. It's quite amazing.
We have been over that level before, though, haven't we? 350 die, I think.
It was prior to the inflation of supply.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yes, so it kind of, yeah, I'd have to review, but there was a reason why. Definitely occurred prior to the supply inflate. Like it kind of doubled in supply since then, which means that it was half as valuable against Pulse back then, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so the last time it was over 350 was basically Jan 25 and then November 24. As you said, it doubled in supply in April 25, didn't we? So yeah, 3 months after that, the Catty.
Yeah, if you look at it,
day.
yeah, so if you look at it in retrospect now, that means kind of it's twice as valuable compared to Pulse as it was back then, if that makes sense. Because you know what I mean? Because supply has doubled. As you said, then Caddy did her thing, and with 596 inflated the supply. Well, not inflated it, but released tokens from the vaults and then dumped on everyone and etc. I'll never forget that day. I was one of the was at work and I saw it dump and it was just the most disappointing, most depressing day probably ever for me anyway.
Yeah, it's like, where were you when JFK got shot? Where were you when Catty dumped? I think everybody can remember it, can't they? Yeah.
Yeah, and also when Richard publicly said it was trash, just it's kind of like, yeah, well, now we know why, but in the moment, it's felt very sick. you know, if you've got that much, if you invest in something like this and having that faith too, you do all this research, and then you kind of can't believe it. Now we know why. Good times. Are you actually G, if you don't mind me saying geographically?
In England,
Nice.
in the north, yeah. Not many people say nice about the north of England, Michael. So thank you, Michael. Have you been able to? You sound far more technical than me. Have you been able to interpret any of these kind of nine iron posts about these new diagrams, and he understands the solution, etc.? Are you any closer to understanding ADI, SDI, PRV, all this kind of stuff?
No, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't really dug further into that diagram,
Right.
I must say. But went over my head too, I will be
Yeah.
quite honest. There's
So,
moving parts. It makes it very complicated.
I mean, there are one or two others I don't think that have posted us. Who's the other guy that's posted? Bavarian Godwale. He's posted some very, very technical stuff. So there are certainly some people that can interpret it on the group, but I think they're definitely the minority.
I wish that Bavarian fellow would jump on here too. I was thinking that. I only saw that this evening. He's posted a few times actually. Quite good, very succinct as
Yes.
well with the transactions.
And then this new fellow that's appeared, well, fellow, maybe a woman, Busy P.
He's another guy. He's similarly, he's explains it quite well.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of digging. I'm still compiling everything. To get it all in one spot on that PeteI.guide site. It would be nice. And I'm going to use Claude to connect dots. I mean, if one thing mentioned that 5996 did this on Maker, nice if it connected the dots to say that 5996 also did this on the D3M or, Aave, etc. Anyway, wish they'd come on.
Yeah.
Same as Sammy. Fuck Sammy.
Non-existent Stephen, I think.
Exactly.
I love that name.
Hey, Soju, I haven't seen you in a while. If you can talk or not.
I just messaged that earliest 9 post I could find for November 23, if that's of any, leans into anything of what we're saying. But he's here a very, very long time.
That's in the chat, is it?
But no, I could put it in though.
Okay, yeah, yes, please.
I'll tag. Oh no, I'll just post it.
I'm just seeing now that 9 is sus that Miguel could be Scorn.
Mhm.
Or maybe just making a joke because Miguel's being a little bit negative, maybe? Don't know.
Yes, you are.
Sorry, now I lost it again. Here we are. Got it. Got it. And
That's what she.
Hmm.
So Nine hasn't referenced a troper at all in his recent pictures, as his diagrams. So who knows if that's still involved or not?
Yeah, no, that's true. It's a big, I feel like it's a big gap that's left out. I think the Atropa ecosystem is very significant and very, it's almost imperative to kind of the peg in the liquidity web that Maria has built. It's very closely, like key and servicing, the two that are involved in the quote unquote exploit with 1996. There's this between Catty basically and Maria, pumping the Atropa pools and whatnot during
Yeah.
the exploit. So I don't think I think there needs to be more weight placed on the Atropa ecosystem. I think I don't know why I didn't mention it. It's strange. I didn't mention it much at all. Excuse me.
well, I get that not everyone is comfortable speaking. I totally understand that. And there's people who don't have a good grasp of English as well, that's the fantastic thing about text on the screen. You can take your time. But just bear with me on this. Nine posts some really complex stuff, and I think I feel like it would help more. It would help if we could speak with him. He's a very, very central figure, but I'm not sure if it's the character or the true person. Like if he has a role to play, I understand that too, and I understand discretion. But he's such a central figure. I do find it unusual that he wouldn't elect to speak.
No, Enigma, truly.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's only ever spoken once historically on a voice chat. So they say.
I think he has to be conscious of his sort of anonymity, doesn't he? I mean, although he has said, I'm looking forward to meeting everybody at the peg party, you'll find out who I really am, with a kind of Scooby-Doo mask reveal type thing. But yeah, I certainly think I can conclude is he wants to totally stay in the shadows, which is fine, isn't it?
And it feels, by extension, that kind of lends itself to the positivity as well. It's sometimes I wrestle with it, thinking, is it a negative aspect? But in the grand scheme of things, I'm sure, very sure, he's considered all of this too, whether it's his role or his person. Like, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it, but I think, yeah, the word enigma, has something to do with it for sure. Yeah.
It's think of Liberty Spot. One time, there was someone asked him that. Well, someone was saying, "Oh, you're gonna box yourselves?" Question mark. Question mark. And I was like, "Oh, no, like if you do, then it no longer is Richard Hart, or a member of their team." Excuse me. I want them to remain anonymous because then it kind of seems that they're part of the story, right? And I want to believe that. And if they did want to not remain anonymous anymore, part of the story would no longer hold true. Will help be less true at least. So Let's connect that with Nine. If he is part of the story, then he wouldn't. I mean, theoretically, he wouldn't come out and speak, but less likely. Do you know what I mean? Because then they'd be doxing themselves.
Yeah.
Look at Bitcoin. I mean, Satoshi's part of the whole fascination, isn't it? Who was this guy, you know? And maybe there's a deliberate plan to be somehow similar to that.
That's right, I guess.
Did you take note of the Liberty swap of old, the 2008 Liberty swap? Something I came across maybe a week ago.
I saw that. Yeah.
Like I don't know what kind of coincidence that is, but to be in the same around the it's all around the very people we talk about in this entire space. Early DeFi, the name, the style, even the font choices.
No, that's right. That was another weird part. I remember now. Did you find that again? Was that at the domain that someone once owned?
No, there's a guy on Flickr. He's had a Flickr account for like 12 years, and he's in San Diego, and he does graphic design for companies.
Okay, is that where you found it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and now is the Liberty Swap logo, and I thought that's weird. So let's look this up, and it was all around Bitcoin. I was like, well, fancy that, just being called Liberty Swap, and you're in early decentralized finance. I wonder, is this like a second a reawakening of an old idea?
Yeah, maybe. I see what you're saying. I have to try and find out the chat again. I'd like to see it. I use the ZKX wallet too, by the way. It's very good.
What do you
If you
think? Happy with it?
I think it's very nice. I think it's. I was using it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, this has got to be Richard's team. Even the fonts used and just gives me the vibes. But I'm trusting it as well, because I've got funds on it. So
Good for you.
it's really good. Yeah, it's really good.
There are tokens that don't have a price on ZKX wallet, I find, though. I don't know if that, I guess it's still early days and they'll add them.
Really? I didn't see that. Because it's got the PDI and the cores, really, and Peacock.
So, yeah, I mean, that's largely the same as me. The one or two others that I've got that don't have a price are like Fed, you know.
Yeah, no, that's interesting.
And also PWETH. So, you know, the one that's 1-for-1 against Pulse. I guess
no, that's odd.
So
It's early
those
days.
two have it, yeah.
You know, they're pretty significant, you know. They're not
Exactly, yeah.
Prevex is absent from that list too.
Is it really? Hey, interesting. Okay, well, that's
Yeah.
kind of tells the story a bit more. Still catching up, I guess.
But that's in beta too. Maybe there's some reasoning behind that.
Yeah,
like
no, that's right. It's still in beta.
Yeah.
I really want to talk to Somi. Where he's in the chat, but he's not in the voice chat. That's me. Pretty sure he lives near me too. But Australia.
Great if you came in and had a chat. It'd be good, you know.
No. Of course, like in the last couple of weeks, I've tried, you know, tagging him and asking him, but he always dodges it.
He's so gifted. He is so gifted at presentation, and
I
just
know it's amazing.
yeah,
I really kudos to him. I really, yeah. I don't know how he does it. It's very engaging when he does, and he does it consistently. 40 videos a day or something. Crazy.
yeah. He's he's so he's mastered like being personable on
Yeah.
a screen. On a screen, it's amazing. There's not many people like that.
No, exactly. And he's able to keep such a topic, it's quite a complicated topic,
Mm.
entertaining, but also simplifying it in a way that helps everyone understand. I think he's very clever.
And with great humor too. He's a funny
Yeah,
guy. I have to say, he makes you laugh a
exactly.
bit. Mm.
That's right. He does.
Do you remember there's
Every video.
a
Huh?
few weeks ago he did a like a voice note in chat, and he made out like he was using the bathroom. He's, he couldn't get to the computer to do something or other, but he's had to do the message from the bathroom. He just did that. That was the delivery, just to keep things funny, and it was really good. He has no ego. He has no ego like that. It's really cool.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah, made me
And
laugh.
good for him. I think he's kept quite a few investors in PulseChain, I must say.
Yeah,
And he's articulated it very well as to why it's such a great community. He's, because deep down I've always known kind of why, but not had someone else tell me. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of nice having that extra voice to kind of say why.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm what I have trouble understanding is how somebody can see the L2 when we can't. And draw conclusions. That's the bit that I find confusing.
From 99.
Yeah, and I think yeah, it's kind of back to what Hexy was saying. Yeah, so that's the sort of conundrum. 99's been around for so long, and it has dedicated.
Ooh.
I've lost Osprey.
Okay, so it's not just me then.
No.
You still there, Osprey? Oh, go on.
I see. Hopefully Osprey will. Well, it looks like he's reconnecting. But what was I going to say?
Now, am I back?
You're
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, guys, I don't know what happened there. Yeah, so I was saying, I was just going back to what Hexy was saying about, understanding Nine Iron's data and posts. So what I don't get is how he can. I seems he can see this L2 and interpret it, but I cannot. You cannot. So how is that? And how is there finality around some of these statements? Like he can see what's going on, and he's gonna slow walk it out to everybody. Maybe he does have access somehow because he is an insider. And when you look at the pattern of his posts and the time he's been in, and I was saying we've all dedicated a huge portion of our time in this decade to this journey, as has he. It doesn't seem like he's pulling a trick. It feels like he does have a role to play. I just can't square the two that he can make statements with finality when you and I and everyone else in this I assume everyone else in this chat cannot see the L2 and study it for themselves. I find that confusing.
Yeah, it is odd. Unless he's just speculating, which is a possibility. But he's made some quite explicit statements about the L2, right? That are
Mm.
hard to be just speculative about.
Yeah.
I just noticed, and please forgive me for putting you on the spot, but Mr. Bavarian Godwale's in the chat, and we were saying before how if you're listening to me, you seem to be a bit far more technical, certainly than me and most of us. I mean, if you're able to comment or add anything to what's just been said about what 99 knows, because you've made some really fascinating posts on X today, it'd be great to hear from you.
Bavarian is less inclined to have that sort of mystique around his posts. He's more matter of fact. I like his delivery.
Yes,
You know.
exactly. Straight to the point.
He may not be. See, a lot of people in here may not have be confident at speaking English quick and keeping
Yeah,
up
I
as
know. I'm
well. You
sorry,
know?
I didn't mean to put anybody on the spot, but I just was quite excited when I saw his name, and I noticed he's not on
Me
mute.
too.
Anyway, never mind. Never mind.
I've got a few more people in here now. 56. I think it's because I spammed the chat with asking someone to join. But disappointingly, he hasn't. To everyone's disappointment. Here we are. We're very good. How are you?
It's some issues.
Hello.
The way 9 can look into the L2 is that he's one of the pioneers.
Yeah.
That's the only way. So you have to look at otherwise you on PC and nobody has it, so it's a secret. And he connects the dots. But it's not that it's like 100%. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
A lot of speculation left, but I'm in close contact to 9, and you're, and yeah, I
Nice.
can agree, and I can see that, and what I can see on chain, it definitely makes sense. That's why I also support and post recently the stuff on X or on the Telegram chat.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard us all praising you on how how excellent your posts are, how succinct and straight to the point, and you provide the transactions, which is always great. Did you have a view on like a bit of a high level view on 99's kind of recent diagram on how it all works? It's a fairly complex piece, and we're hoping, if no pressure, of course, because even I don't understand it, but if you could, if you have any insights on it, really.
And I look at the chart, the answer is
Hard.
which we created. So, no, so obviously he's better than me, but I'm getting close, I would say.
Interesting.
Thanks for sharing, Bavarian.
Yeah.
We all
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
it.
Much so, no problem.
Yeah, no, understood. That's understood, but it's just good. I think you see where we're coming from, and yeah, thank you.
But as you can see also in regards to his activity, heating up again, and that's a good sign.
I had a question regarding your recent post, if you don't mind. I'd be very good. Well,
Mhm.
about in the thread number 5, step 4, you've got pull 10,000 ETH. Is that like Ethereum, like on Ethereum, right? We're not talking the Pulse version. So you're saying that they've.
Ethereum.
Sorry.
it was real ETH.
And that was by one of the pioneers.
Yes.
They control.
They didn't execute it, but they tried to but they didn't finally execute the spell.
So
It was a test run. But of course, they do have a significant amount of ETH.
did they really? So they control over 10,000 ETH, in your view?
Yeah, they perspective who the parties are. So 10,000 ETH.
Okay, I actually didn't know that until I saw this post only a few hours ago, and I was querying, thinking that like that's a lot of dosh.
And they tried to, and yeah, but so
It's a lot of money for a Vietnamese hacker kid.
yeah, come
Isn't
on.
it? I think this is the big part is how such an exploiter and hacker revealed step by step on how he was doing it during the the exploitation.
People are really believing in this kind of scenario. So
How long have you been in the ecosystem for? Quite a while.
since X launch,
Since when, sir?
since he launched X,
Okay, since X launch. Sorry, I see. Yeah, so you're kind of a long-term believer.
I would consider me to be this. Yeah,
What was that? Sorry, man.
for myself. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, very good. Because I only got in basically at the top, of course. DCA still DCA, but that was about 21, I believe. It's a long journey.
Yes.
A bit of a question. What's kind of the most interesting find / coincidence that you've seen that could like that kind of makes it clear that what's going on?
It's
Yeah, no, fair enough.
deep knowledge, and I don't know who obviously is, but they have to work also with elite from side. So they have, in my opinion, they have a group of developers which are among the best in the whole crypto industry, because yeah, the sense of detail and how they manage everything is, so you need deep knowledge in all the tools and all the protocols. So this is for me the part which really stands out.
Yeah, interesting. No, that's very good insight. Okay. And the
So that Richard Hart made any mistakes or didn't think about in advance, perspective is completely mistaken. So
yeah, totally agree. I think it's very naive to think, so he's not silly. He was talking about Maker and the complexities behind it years prior to forking PulseChain.
yeah,
I think someone actually shared something recently in a reply of his that goes into huge depth about the kind of the vulnerabilities of Maker. So I completely agree. I think it's just silly. All the cabal thinking he's made such a silly mistake and giving away the keys to PComp. Crazy,
yeah.
just leaving over $2 million on the table for someone to take. Come on, seriously.
Agree.
Have you found a link between the PComp cluster of wallets that took over PComp? Is there link between them and the 5996 cluster?
It's um,
Same. So it is the same team. I'm trying to.
it's
I want to get that down because if it is the same team, which sounds like it is, I'd like to and then have a bit of a path. Even if we could visualize that, that's a huge giveaway. I mean, like if you can connect those paths and visualize it for everyone to see. I think it'd be helpful, even just for mine, to kind of put that connection there.
yes.
Thank you. And then I'll if you can send something to me too. I started building on it. If you've seen it, but peter.guide, if you'd like to contribute to, if you have any MD files, do you use code much?
Yes.
Nice. But if you're willing to give up some information, no pressure at all.
I can do this, no problem.
I'll credit you on the side, of course. Everyone who I've taken information from, I'm crediting on the homepage.
The 9 started with all this kind of investigation when there has not been any AI LLMs, you know. So
Exactly right. That's I was thinking that because in the period of what 5 years in the development of this,
so
you could
yeah,
have not have foreseen this. Or the development in AI was released. When did OpenAI release chat? I think it was 22, 21.
I don't know exactly. But it shows how also his skills are in terms of blockchain knowledge, and yeah, he's the real OG.
Mm. Yeah, so ChatGPT was released, which is, we can all agree that it was one of the first flagship AI LLMs that was released in November of 2022. So it was only, 6 months before the PulseChain launch?
Yeah, roughly.
And then from there onwards, we've seen exponential growth in the intelligence of these LLMs. It's truly extraordinary. It's making my work life a lot easier, that's for sure.
Going back to what Bavarian was saying about Richard Hart not making mistakes, I see the X account for there's a PulseChain.com X account which is run by a certain somebody. I wouldn't they have not a great reputation. I've just been polite about it for the sake of the VC, but maybe if Richard Hart doesn't make and I totally agree with Bavarian, Richard Hart doesn't make these sorts of mistakes. It would make me think that said person is perhaps not as bad as we think, and is also playing some sort of role. I just cannot quite square that because PulseChain.com is is Richard Hart's creation. I would have thought you would think he would want that so perfectly protected for its social footprint, but perhaps there's more to it. I'd like to think there is more to it, you know.
Chain.com, did you say? What account was it?
Yeah, it's on X, just at PulseChain, and it comes. It's like
Yeah.
yeah,
It's the good guy creator.
yeah. It just either it's a mistake, either it's terrible foresight, or the creator of a good die is actually a good person. I just cannot figure it out. It seems very strange to me.
Yeah,
I'd
it
want
is weird.
PulseChain or PulseChain footprint to be massively protected from extractors and anything nefarious. So I've always found that interesting.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You could say the same, I guess, for other people that have extracted in quotes from our community and others. they've turned out to be it turned out all to be a bit of game in order to further our progress. Maybe that is what's taken place a lot around us, and since very early on.
Crypto solve without the E. Like the blockchain investigators, they've always been, PDI fudders. The ones that released the spreadsheet, Richard Hart shared it and credited them, and it was and then he said something like, "Here's a spreadsheet of all the addresses that are exploiting Maker and blah 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 at the moment." To dig through everyone who's exploiting ! Do you know what I mean? I'm like, why are you sharing his stuff? It's so interesting. Like, ever since he's constantly fed PDI, and is like, why don't you, instead of why don't you help us get to the bottom of it? And he just refusal. It's very peculiar that they, they don't, they don't think that these coincidences are more than what meets the eye. I don't know. It's very strange.
Yeah. We've been through a lot to shake. It's all. It feels like it's all to shake people out, shake as many out weakness as possible. I think when we zoom out and we see it for what it truly was, and it's actually it's kind of like what Bavarian hinted at. There was a great post by Bavarian earlier about people would only realize what PulseChain has become when it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
It's he's right. I feel he's right.
So I think that exploitation. I'm not so sure. Maybe it was half shaking the weekends up. It was a necessity to break, quote unquote, break Maker, and ESM it as part of the process. I think it was solely to. I know what you're saying either. I'm just kind of missing this. I think it was solely to shake people out. I think it was just part of the development of what we're going to see as PDI later. You know what I mean? As the ESMing Maker, and then kind of evolving it on the L2.
Yeah.
Just
Sorry,
sorry.
go on.
There's also an argument for letting extraction happen on your watch,
Mhm.
and just staying back from it and just letting it organically run its course, because ultimately it plays into your hands as a founder with a vision. That's
Of glory, right?
yeah.
Exactly.
No, I
Hope if let's say 10, 20 million in your bags, I'm hard to become something which starts with a B. And I just uh, 1,000 to 3.4 thousand millionaires. So imagine in the PH, which is around 7,000, the amount of players worldwide. So that's why I think the heavy shakeout has to happen.
Mm.
Yes.
A elite group of people has the chance to do it.
Notwithstanding that 7,000 figure is rather inflated over time. There's so many bot accounts, and
maybe we have around 300 to 400 real users.
yeah, you're right. You're quite right.
Yeah.
Hey, can I add something to that? What the Bavarian just said? And hello, by the way.
Hey, Paul.
Hello, Paul.
Yeah, hey. And because I absolutely agree with Bavarian, and in general, in my opinion, the number simply when you look on the PDI holder list, there's not so many, let's say, millionaires wallets, and I'm pretty sure that some top wallets around 100 millions and so on, we also do not have a pretty sure if that's a, you know, one wallet, one person, probably some several persons, wallets are assigned to 2 or 3 people. That's what I think. But what I wanted to add in the like pegging process, let's try to imagine that, like, in my opinion, and I would love to hear your opinion also about that, when the things, let's happen, let's imagine that, I think that the liquidity will be pretty low at the start, and that will be also doing like plan in purpose in advance to still shake the people out. So if because let's think someday someone somehow is getting 2 million or 1 million or 700,000 in his wallet, and people are not sitting like every day and so on, and suddenly he just figured out that he will just sell it. He will not look for some, I don't know, further opportunities with this money on chain. Many people will just wreck themselves by selling on the low liquidity, on the high slippage, and so on. So, me personally, if the things happen, I will look more patient for how the things will develop afterwards, because the pegging will be just the beginning. I will look for some yield. I will look for some passive income possibilities, and simply observe and be with you guys. To find the best plan for us, because we are the winners. We are the group of the people, I think, which have this already built awareness about how the things can roll up, and that sometimes, even if you get the reward, it will be nice to still be a little bit patient to start using this reward, if you know what I mean. Thank you.
You often wonder what the next steps are after PEG, you know, because I think the outcome after that, of course, is, and even Richard even posted a tweet about this, and he said something. I mean, it's cryptic, right? But I don't know if you guys remember. It's on PDI.guide. I screenshot it. It says something like how to get your stickers up really high, and it said screwdriver in the hole, and there's just an image of someone trying to stick up stickers. But if you look into it, it's pretty clear what he's talking about. And the intention is to get his core tickers up high, in my opinion. And so, yeah, no, it'd be interesting how it all unfolds. Truly, I mean, everyone's wanting the test net prices and whatnot, looking for yield safely is a very important factor too, especially when the time comes. I'm sure Liberty Sport would have some sort of yield protocol for PDI, or one in which the pioneers have built, as we saw the RSR token as part of that kind of diagram. But keen for the future. It can't come soon enough though. How many years has it been, right?
It's been a while. Yeah. I think communication in smaller groups is going to be a central element to all of this post-peg. And we spoke about this last week or the week before. We'll be in a very, very particular club, and you fast lose the ability to discuss your situation with the people you regularly communicate with, and friends in particular, and I'm sure in some cases family. I think Sci-Vive touches on this a lot. some very, very good reading material there. But we must look to remain to remain in contact through some sort of portal, whether that's smaller groups, a little like this one today, and who knows how people get to know each other. I mean, I know they say we have to maintain some sort of, distance for security reasons on Telegram, and I have noticed that it's a shame. You get to know people, you think you get, we want to get to know people. It's just in our DNA, and then you get let down, and someone just leaves through the back door, and it's so peculiar. But that's life as well. This is a really, really tough journey. And in life is tough. Life is tough in itself. But this journey, this sub journey that we're on right here now, there's nothing like it. I've never experienced anything like this, and it can test the best of us. And but we do want to get to know one another, all of us, in some way. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my best to maintain relationships that I built here, with sort of 4 people perhaps, and see what comes of that we can stay in touch and share ideas and ask for guidance. Hey, you've experienced this. We have X amount. Our lives have changed. What have you come across, that's been an issue for you, or how did you solve this problem? And there's not many people you can ask for information on these things, to get that real world advice. So
Yeah,
it's
the people
definitely,
that are actually in the know-how, people that are in the same boat as you.
yeah, it's
Totally
good.
agree.
It's good to stick together, which is kind of contrary to this underlying idea that we're all being targeted all the time. It's a damn shame, because we are, because every day we're having to, there's someone trying to do something in on Telegram who wants to take from you, and me and everyone else listening. But we can't let it rule everything. We can't let it rule your DNA for wanting to be sociable and being smart.
So true. I know. Yeah, it's a real shame. Even when you were sending me files for, what we're developing, and you kind of saying, if up to you if you want to download it, because there may be, even though obviously I know for a fact you would never do something like that, but it's unfortunately something everyone needs to consider. Who
Yeah.
trusts online, even though they are part of the community, and
I sent some files to Dr. Pagger at the weekend, and a CSV. It was this a holder list done on overnight on Saturday, and I had to explain to him, I think my computer is clean, but I can never be 100% sure. Please, 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 triple check.
yeah,
But we have to be able to share information somehow, and
exactly.
have that little bit of that sort of that DNA trust that makes us who we are. Otherwise we're not really building relationships that could benefit us all, or some of us, when the tide turns. So I'm trying to concentrate on that, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, but still, consider all what we are talking about here. We can clearly say that PEG event must happen before retail enter the crypto again, or enter the pulse chain, because we are in the situation, like, in my opinion, pioneers, like, this need to happen with the lowest number of people involved. And there is why in my opinion, we need to, and everything is planned accordingly for many years. I think, yeah, Richard planned it few years ahead, few long years ahead. So this will happen before the next bull run, which might be close if Clarity Act will be, will be a vote in the Senate, and we believe it will be, I guess. So we might be really in front of starting of the really nice rally. And I remember from 2021 in one YouTube stream with some people around, which were a little bit negative and laughing about Richard. He said to them, "You will be cry if you will not keep my coins till," he said, "in next 5 years. After 5 years from now, you will be crying that you will not, that you wouldn't keep my coins." And that was July 2021. I guess you know what I'm talking about which YouTube I'm talking about. So I cross my fingers, like probably 99 people here, for July 2026, because that's the exact time frame which Richard gave to us back in 2021.
I think, yeah, you kind of touched on a few things there. The first part about pegging prior to the next bull, I kind of agree with you in terms of the slow walk up would invite non-believers, whereas there's a few arguments for this. But this is my view. If he pegs from down here, at least you're kind of excluding those non-believers, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's hard to know, really. I don't know if you got any views on that. I'll stream it.
Like both of your points on that one. I do agree that you'd want the minimum amount of people as possible before retail comes. I like that point. I mean, it feels logical, but I don't underestimate the thinking of Richard Hart either, which generally leads to the conclusion anything is possible. It's just a myriad of coincidences and what looks like randomness. What looks like randomness doesn't, when you zoom out, it actually, the pieces come in place. I found that quite a bit on this journey.
Looks like Paul left. Oh no, there he is. Sorry.
It's why I stay in my simple little, what's the term, wheelhouse. You know, I don't venture too far outside. In part because I don't have my chain analysis skills are minimal at best, but I can do a bit of data and I can do a bit of graphic design, and that's it. You know, that's my thing. We all have our thing.
I still keep seeing the 99 is typing GIF with the, what's his name? Still think that's gold. I think that tops them all. Really. What movie is that from? Matthew McConaughey. Is that him? In it?
It is, yeah. I don't know what movie it's from. I thought it was a True Detective, maybe, or something like that.
It's just so good.
I don't know. I've been enjoying the Truman Show director gifts, and I think they're pretty cool. Yeah, they kind of
Even
say it
Liberty,
all.
even Liberty Spot sharing them too. I noticed.
I did one yesterday, and it was about him. Let's have 99 say something cryptic, and then go and wash the car. But I was going to have him say, have 99 say something cryptic and leave to go and hoover the stairs.
It's a bit like that too.
I think he gets the humor, though. I hope he does, because I never mean any offense to him.
He'd understand. But there's other people, even on Twitter, who are kind of less nice about it. Like, just tell us what it is. Why are you speaking? Like, just give us the information. We know it's Yeah, it's being withheld for a reason.
How's my audio on this this phone? Because I've only just
Very
got
good.
it and I've been. Is it okay? Yeah, cool.
Yeah, very clear. Not too bad. Is another Xiaomi?
No, it's not. No, I definitely not buying one of those again. Do you know what I did? I buried it. I had to bury it. I didn't know what to do with the thing because the battery just pillowed out at the back, and then my wife Googled why is a phone expanding like that, and it's this chemical reaction in the lithium battery, and I thought, well, I can't
Jesus.
throw that in the bin or so, and I can't bring it back to the shop because I'd be like handing someone a bomb.
So
That's what I figured.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Wow, I didn't realize. How long
yeah.
you had it for?
I've had it less than 6 months.
Wow.
I've never dropped it. I'm like, I don't really do anything with it. It's just calls and Telegram. Um, so I couldn't figure it out. And it had dropped battery like 20% in the morning. And I thought, how is that?
Oh
And
God.
so like my wife picked it up and she said, what's that? And it was squashing at the back. And I didn't know, I actually didn't know phones were made like that. I've only just found all this out at 47. But yeah,
Surely
it
you can
is.
get a refund for it. No?
Oh, you could, but I'd be waiting all this,
Mm.
when we looked online, I'm not the only person, and it's a bit of a nightmare to get it sorted. Like I think you get looked after at the retailer, but so what I did, I went and bought a new phone and I buried the Xiaomi. I dug a hole and buried it. So
Rest in peace.
I'm waiting to wake up to a crater. Big lithium fire in the yard here.
Yeah, damn. All right,
It's
well,
like
oh,
it's
sorry, you
like
go.
it's like chemical and high tech uh, are not often tallying perfectly. I think that's the problem. The competition is so fierce in telecommunications. I guess
Cutting corners.
yeah, the R&D suffers a bit, and yeah.
Yeah, anyway, I better go, but good chat.
Yeah,
Thanks,
that was
everyone.
good. It was nice for Bavarian to come on. I appreciated that a lot.
Yeah, no, exactly. I've just DM'd him actually for hopefully some more information.
And thanks to working on the site, it's like amazing. So just remember all of that about keep all that stuff about funding in mind. Like if you like, I'm happy to get something to you anytime if it's ever needed, or if we have some sort of bridge to cross with the
No, I
API
appreciate it.
costs and stuff, just
Yeah, thank you. I don't know if has it been depleted yet? I must say I haven't had time to check, but I don't think it has. I haven't received a notification to say.
I used it once and I think you said it costs less than a cent a return or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah. So I think I had $10 USD. So it had like 1,000
Mm.
prompts, you know. But it looks like it's still okay, which is good. But I appreciate the offer. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, keep
I'll let
us
you
in the
know
loop.
if depending on how quickly it kind of depletes.
Cool, man. Have a
All
good
right,
evening. Yeah,
you
thanks.
too.
Good
Speak
talking
soon.
to you. See you, man. Bye. If anyone wants to chat, go for it. But I'll leave it running for another few minutes, and I'll probably close up and I'll post the recording.
Yeah, just one other thing I was going to say, Osprey. I didn't want to interrupt Bavarian. It was brilliant to hear from him. Was going back to sort of like shaking out believers and the question of what's happening and all the PDI FUDs and all the rest of it. I mean, Richard once famously posted, something like I don't might not be verbatim. 90% dip in crypto is brilliant, but if it's a 99% dip, then that currency is almost dead. You look at Hex and even the likes of PLS, not from stock price, but it's from its high in PLSX. these are down kind of like 98, 99%. And I think somebody was, might be New Osprey, talking about the optics of his website and a certain person running it and all the rest of it and other stuff around Crypto Solve. So there do seem to be so many sort of things where the picture being painted is quite a bad one, really. Let's be honest with you. I very, very rarely listen to anything other than PDA related stuff, but I flicked onto something last night and some guy was talking about loading up on PLS, and another guy was saying, have you looked at that chart? Why on earth would you buy anything like that? I mean, the obvious answer is because it's cheap. But I mean, he had a fair point that actually, if it wasn't for the fact it was in the ecosystem that we love, if it was anything else, you'd say no, steer well clear of that. So you just wonder what you kind of thought about how far Richard has let this kind of like slide. Hopefully there'll be a big turnaround and the God candle and all the rest of it, but it really has been a slow bleed, hasn't it?
Optically, I don't know about the chart side of things. I don't really. It doesn't concern me. The charts. It's not what I'm watching, because I believe that things will turn around massively. But I do look at the optics and the things that don't add up. Like yeah, I think you touched on that there as well. So I'm just on like the PulseChain.com website. It's just flawless, and it's like Liberty Swap is flawless. And yet the social footprint would have a certain somebody in charge of or running an X account. But I'm on the PulseChain.com site here, and there isn't actually. I don't see a link at all to X anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it doesn't have that footprint, because that, as far as I know, has to be a registered individual. Like I had to give my details to run the X account or DAI. So surely this person would have to give their details too. That's probably not what he would want. So the association is yeah, it's not there. Maybe he has no control over that, but maybe he has no control over the X account at all, because it's none of his business. It's just someone has taken the name. But I wonder, does he have the power to change that with a couple of conversations?
Mm-hmm.
Optically, it's just not. It just doesn't seem right to me at all. And yet he has mentioned him before. He mentions him in terms of fundraising ideas or something like that. I know, I never squared with me at all.
Yeah, I mean, he did a lot of great work in the first few years. I mean, I was into various things, including Hex, but many other sort of like the typical things that people get into when they first get into crypto. And I moved 100% of everything into RH because of that conference that person presents. So he has certainly done some stuff. I don't know if that was a good or a bad thing that I'm 100% in RH, but yeah, he's certainly done a lot of good work up until relatively recently.
Hard
I
to
see
call it.
non-existent Stephen has joined, which is interesting. Interesting.
Is he in our chat here? That'd be
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
Hello.
I'm not here. Hey lads, just joining in and having a listen.
Hey Steve, welcome back.
Hey Osprey, good to hear from you, man.
We had I'll be posting the recording as soon as this VC is wound up, so you'll be able to listen back to everything. But we had Bavarian dropped in for 10 or 15 minutes and helped educate us all a little around more confusing aspects. You might enjoy listening back to some of that as well. I think I'll listen back to it myself, actually.
Yes. Okay. The more confusing aspects around PDAI, obviously. Or...
Yeah, it was more the layer 2 aspect. We were well, speaking for myself, I just find it hard to understand how 99 is. He speaks with kind of like a finality around things he's finding, but he could only do that if he can see into an L2 or into the L2. But none of us can. You can't, I can't, HexCG can't, but 99 can. And Bavarian implied, I don't want to take him too out of context, but he implied that really only a pioneer would be able to see into and study the L2. So I have to listen back to that myself and just read through 99's material again just to get a better take on it. But you are a diligent character, so I'm thinking that's kind of cool you joined, because you're the kind of person that would pick through all of that and try and find a common thread. You seem to be very good at the technical side of things too.
Yeah, I'm not sure I necessarily agree with good, but maybe it's just want to be humble. I'm not sure. I do like certain aspects of cryptocurrency, and I definitely do need to this too, because to see it for myself as well, and it was like a mystery, and so yeah, that's really interesting. That does it, because decentralized me as well, or was he just relaying information that he got from Nine Capital whenever he would get it?
I feel like DCME was relaying it in more layman's terms for people at the time. He made it because 99 Capital he's like an expert. He seems to be a real expert at chain analysis, but his delivery is complex, because I think he's appealing to the people that also understand the complexity and can wrestle with it quite easily. But DCME seemed to be, his skill was taking that information and putting it into layman's terms at the time. I do remember that, and I think people find it easier to interpret,
Well, that's really interesting. Okay, so I'm curious by this concept of the L2, because as you said, the way that he speaks about it is so matter of fact. So yeah, he must have some sort of inside information that he's relaying to us, because he's giving any instructions on how to get to this L2, right?
As far as I'm aware, no. I believe it's I believe from what I'm hearing today is it is visible only to pioneers. That's my understanding. I could be completely wrong about that. I'll have to listen back and study myself. But I've been 2 weeks trying to read and interpret all of this, and I just I'm going around in circles, really.
I think it would be something, if you have the right information, you'd be able to see it or connect to it or plug into it.
Yeah,
I suppose none of us really have that information, do we?
I think it was to do with having an RPC to access it, and that RPC is a secret. It's a secret known to the people that are given access.
I see.
Yeah.
Just good to hear your voice. The big I'm great, man. Yeah, I was just with my friends tonight, and I'm just at the train station on my way home. So yeah, I'm doing great, man, and catching up on all this Peter stuff. And I've got some plans and things over the week. So yeah, trying to be productive actually. How are you doing, man?
Doing good, doing good. All fine.
Again,
All this kind of stuff, you get a little spent.
yes, 3 period. I stopped doing anything. I'm starting up again now. So, yeah, I intend on doing actual streams, maybe not for. I kind of just want to get back into the rhythm of video making. It's kind of, it's just I suppose just with everything that I'm doing. So yeah, I just want to get the rhythm, and then I'll start doing streams very soon. So
Very good. Good to hear. You're back.
man, I appreciate it. 2026 since 2.0. So it's going to be virtual or something.
I think version 2.0 we were doing in Monaco, right?
You still
I, I, I pick him up in the world, you know, and bring him straight to the party. And today I tried another kind of trick, but obviously he's too smart for it. I just wanted to actually have to pick you up, and he said, "Let's hope it's Monaco," and which means don't have to travel then, but that's interesting.
yeah, and would to a physical. You think so? Oh, interesting.
Bring him to the pack party. 100%
Oh, I understand it.
between us.
Beautiful. Hey, just excuse me for a second, boys. I'll be back in a minute.
Thanks for joining in today, Bavarian. I think that was encouraging for us.
Oh no, because of me or what I'm saying.
But I think you know, some of us just we have our way of interpreting this journey with the skills we have, which are limited. I wish I had paid more attention to chain analysis 4 years ago. I could have spent more time, but I'm getting there day by day. I'm learning a little bit more, you know, as well, not day by day, but week by week. Maybe I'm learning a couple of new things that it can be useful. But we're lucky. We're lucky.
I can give understand to use AI properly and to maximize your output. I don't know, 10x, 100x, whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, Osprey, speaking of technical analysis and chain analysis, our friend Busy P has just posted in chat, first time in 2 or 3 weeks.
DN.
Something to do with bytecode and blah, blah, blah. But yeah.
Bytecode, I know that. A program just not authorized yet. 2 admin calls away from going live. The wallet that can trigger it is already in position. Wow.
That's another interesting account, actually. If you go to the one that the message he's referring to, is it something like Pulsino.
Palestino, yeah.
That always
Mint
seems
and
to
back.
intrigue me. It's another account I read very excitedly without having a clue what it means. And by the way, Bavarian, you're one of those.
What?
You're an account that I read, get very excited, but don't understand any of it.
Thank you.
Sehr ausgezeichnet. Yeah.
Varian is very humble. He's always humble. I like that. Yeah, busy.
It's who you're raised, right?
Yes.
Values. That's
Yeah,
important.
correct. It is. Absolutely is. It's amazing to hear from Stephen all that way away from where I am in a train station using a mobile phone, and we can all hear each other pretty much the same time. Just technology blows my mind. This is like,
Isn't it?
yeah, it's like Knight Rider or Star Trek playing out in my life. In my, I'm not young anymore, but it's like all coming true.
Dreams are coming true, except
Yeah,
for
man.
missing this train.
Oh, really? You missed the ride home, yeah?
It's the platform, and I'm like, are you serious? So, yeah, just figure it out. I'm like, okay, in the back of my mind, it's going to cost me more, but thinking about that Peter, it's all good.
Yeah, Steve, just mind you were being asked about the live streams, but just mind the energy levels, I guess. It's like it takes an awful lot to put visuals together, like all the edits and the getting everything right, and it takes time. Like I do it. Sometimes it takes a couple of hours just to do one post, and you wonder if it's going to land, but it takes time. All this stuff takes a lot of time and energy. If you can,
Absolutely, man. And,
yeah,
that's it's every single one of my focus on keeping things balanced. So I don't have that again. So, yeah, I'd love to, people when I did the last video, you know, times, I this, you know, it's, fuck, because it just got too, it's a bit like, just push it now, push through. I've got to protect my sleep. I've got to protect my, just to after a while sleeping. It affects me after a long period of time. So I'm just trying to be balanced with everything. So I just, yeah, I'm not disappearing like that. It's a good look.
the circadian rhythms take a beating with screens at night. It's definitely something I backed off from. I find myself, I'd see myself online at like 3 a.m. I shouldn't be doing that. I really, really should be protecting my brain. So I've cut back on a few things as well. I've lessened posting on X a little just for this month. And concentrating more on this aspect right here, this VC. It's good. I think it's been really, really good to talk to each other. It's very, very, very positive for this community. I think just for us to just be speaking to each other, it's very, very good. All of us here.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. I think I definitely feel as well like a lot of things are happening and there's no rush and things starting to kind of turn around. I think it's really nice to be able to connect with each other and continue to build the community, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. I mean, you know, if the
That's you there, Steve, I think.
this not the yeah, sorry about that.
Hey guys, I just wanted to add that not that price matters, but you know, it was nice to wake up and see that Ethereum was down, Bitcoin is down under 70,000, under 2,000, yet PDI is up. And I look at my portfolio and it is the strongest thing in my portfolio right now. So not that price matters because I'm certainly not dumping. And I know someone in here, not sure who it was speaking about concerns once we peg, you know, whether or not people will stay. But again, if it bounces around the dollar, where would you go? And if you can get yield on it, even better, which I think is the objective. It just, I mean, the only time you're going to take USDC out or USDT out is if you are investing in something that you really believe is going to go up substantially. And in bear markets, you usually, I mean, some traders have put it back into USDC or USDT instead of riding it out. But I don't necessarily think that we'll get that kind of exit that some think that we may have if there's yield involved right away.
I'm in the same boat as you, Quinn. I'm looking for yield as and when that if and when that becomes a reality.
It's going to be the play. You, on your principle, it's like I can't think of a more incredible thing, and I can think from a community aspect as well in terms of stuff like, yeah, this the excess of liquidity and things like that. Just what would you want to leave? Would you want to some sort of short-term gain when you can like a lifetime of yield? Essentially, it just makes no sense to me. So I think that's definitely something that people really need to consider based on their circumstances.
Am I right in thinking you worked or work at you're a broker? Am I correct? And
Ages ago, I worked on a hedge fund ages ago. Yeah. And then I owned a finance business for 11 years while I was having an enormous size family. But I'm an older girl now, but I love Richard. I mean, Richard taught me not to trade. Richard has, I love his thoughts. I love how he calls out some of the biggest players in the world. He'd call out Elon, anyone, you know, he's honest. And sometimes I don't like, I mean, I would never have my daughters listen or watch some of the things because I think that we still are, you know, this is the Wild West. It's still a boys' game and that's fine. But like decency is a good thing too, right? Like I have to deal with seeing things I don't want to see. I had to look up some things because I didn't even know what existed. It's like funny, but it's not going to keep me out of this space because I mean, this is about legacy for our families, correct? It's about doing good in the world. It's about so much more than money and buying things because some of the best things in this world you can't buy. I like everything about it. And I can't wait for Richard to be right and people to be humbled and come here and we can educate those into DeFi. So everything's being set up. I can feel it. I mean, we're all here because we feel that this is the right place to be. So that's why we're here and staying. And I don't know, because I had traded so much in the past when I think I had mentioned when PDI dove and Katie did her play. That was April of 25 because I bought a lot because what did I learn? I learned that there's a lot of games. And when, I mean, I've been around since yeah, the pre big payday for Hex. And, you know, for anyone to sell their e-Hex, I laughed at that. Even though Richard talked about it, he didn't really say sell, did he? No, he, you know, everything's kind of like tongue in cheek, question marks. But I mean, that was a great play too. I just didn't sell my e-Hex. I didn't buy it, which I wish I had bought more at that point. But yeah, if you believe in his products, he's not going to let him die. That's
Did
just my input.
your colleagues in your sort of financial space, did they share the same position or line or train of thought about DeFi or maybe even crypto in general as you? I mean, are you still in touch with people that, if it's not too prying a question, I don't mean it to be, but say if you're still in touch with colleagues of old, would they
Oh,
have the same
actually,
convictions as you?
I'm really not. And there's a lot of people in that world that they won't tell you what they're doing privately,
Mm,
publicly. Of course, they're bankers and CFOs of banks and credit unions, and they, you know, they're not really, their institutions are not involved in crypto, but I'm
yeah.
sure they will be. And probably they're having board meetings about it as soon as
Mm.
the Clarity Act. I think there's a lot going on right now, and getting ready for the Clarity Act. So they have to be ready to go, is my thought.
I was saying at the top of the VC, trying to get an expert on to just have a chat with this like we do here. An expert just someone with a legal expert. We had like nuclear herbs in mind. Then he might come on and just answer some questions or help us understand a little more about where we sit ahead of Clarity Act and afterwards. I thought he'd be a great sort of legal mind. Whether or not he's keen to come on, and it'd be kind of difficult to not have it like we're trying to have him aligned with DAI or anything. That's really not why I'd be interested. That's not what I want to have come across to people listening. It's hard to have no bias when here it is. This is the DAI Telegram. Come and talk to us. It's kind of an instant bias the way it rolls off the tongue. But he may see what we're trying to ask. You know, we're just looking for someone to help us understand things. He has great skills and he's qualified. It would be interesting. It'd be just good to line up a couple of guests, that could help us along.
He's the perfect person. Yeah.
Mm,
He seems to know the ins and outs of the legal arguments.
mm,
Dr. Pecker's pretty good, but I think you're right. Nuclear herbs, and why not ask him? The worst he can do is say no.
yeah, we're not looking to adopt him into DAI or anything. He could be. I don't care if he's not a fan of DAI at all. He could have very negative thoughts. That's fine. That's not why we want to speak to him. It's like we want to really get his professional take on things. It would be beneficial. I would enjoy it a lot.
I just want to make one last comment uh, before I stop speaking. As Richard said, it's on his roadmap to have a decentralized stablecoin. So if not PDI, what is it going to be? Because he's going to do it. So what will it be?
I think the number of people here listening would have us believe it's DAI.
Well, we've had this discussion, but haven't we before, Osprey, that why has he chosen, or why would it be DAI rather than something else? And the answer is, well, if it's something else, his name is directly attached to it. Where if it's
Yeah,
DAI, there's all sorts of plausible deniability, and some pioneers behind the scenes have done it all. But yeah,
plus, I think that ruling by the SEC has something to do with this. Am I right? Because it places Pulse Chain of present somewhat beyond the jurisdiction of the SEC. And I feel like anything new and as big as another decentralized coin, I'm not sure if it fits the outcome of the ruling. I could be like way off there, but that's always what I figured. You can't just have our coin as the stable. It would have to jump through serious hoops. And yeah, we did. We had a lengthy conversation about it a few weeks ago. It might even be on one of the recordings, but yeah, Hexy, I think you're right. I think you are right. I'll tell you another thing. Actually, you need to build a community around something. And what are we here? We're here now like 3 years, right? And we built one of the best communities inside of DeFi on this side. And you can't do that with something new. You have to, it has to be organic and real. And I think where product market fit is concerned, community is a central element to that. I would say that is one reason why I choose to believe in DAI, because the community is here. If another coin were to be launched, in a week's time, I just think it was a trick. I would think it would be a way to shake weak hands. That's what I would think.
Yeah, same. Just another thing I was thinking about was, I can't remember who was speaking earlier, talking about shaking out the weak hands, and Richard wants as few people as possible to really benefit from the peg. And yet in the past he said, I want to create a million millionaires. What does that sort of, those two things seem to contradict each other.
Maybe DAI is part one to that story.
Yeah,
And
okay.
then when you look at when we were talking there about yield opportunities and what comes after, do we all pile into core coins? I certainly will. If the opportunity is there to do that, that's absolutely on my radar. That's my first port of call. That and yield. I mean, I don't ever plan to leave any of this. This is the way for me now. Now that I familiarize with it too, I think the software is really cool. I like the software. I like the ease of use. I like that I can run it myself. And I'm answerable only to me. It's I was in the bank. I was in the bank a couple of 3 times this year. I hardly use the banks now. I pay a mobile phone bill and things like that. Just the little things that you keep an account for, a current account, and it's so complex. I can't lodge money on weekends. It doesn't go through until banking hours begin on a Monday. I have to put a plastic card in a machine that looks like it was made by a school kid. It spits me out pieces of paper as receipts. It has a keypad that everyone else touches. And half the time, the machines don't even work properly. They're out of order or they're out of money. I find that a lot in my own town. It's I'm just tired of I go from that interface, with the real world in quotes, and then I come back to running PulseX swap on my own machine, and it's a world apart. It's like going from a Model T to a rocket. I cannot, if that's the interface side of things, how on earth can I consider getting out? This whole idea of getting out. I think it's I think it's wild. Yeah.
Well, as you say, maybe this is part one, and then that, fingers crossed, will be the next step. Because unless you can utilize PDAI in the real world, it's doesn't help a huge amount, does it?
No.
Having a big online balance that you can't then do things with, whether that's for your own lifestyle or some degree of good or whatever it is. There needs to be a way. I mean, that's what Bitcoin failed at completely. Having a payment system or whatever it is. I know some countries have adopted it, but hopefully there are. It sounds like to me, reading between the lines from some of Nine9's posts, that there are much bigger things in the works, and maybe it's a banking alternative type of thing. But there still needs to be a way to do things with it, rather than just look at your balance on a MetaMask wallet.
Like Quinn says, the Clarity Act is going to potentially show us or reveal us a few more options that may make life easier for situations like that.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, that would be great. But the Clarity Act, I know Clarity Act is all being discussed in the US, but I'm guessing for those of us not in the US, they would still. Will we live by the Clarity Act? Will we then bring similar rules, or do we? None of us know those questions, I guess. But
Well, banks are in territories, but I think in many ways it's like a borderless space. Everyone must be in these financial services operate like in unison, like in tandem. The isn't it international banking regulations? Pretty sure. Quinn would know. But I see Clarity Act as it's competition. It's global competition. If someone has, like the US, the United States has Clarity Act passed, it sets it ahead of everybody else. It gives it a head start in this race to a new world of finance. And as far as I can tell, there's an awful lot of capital in the wings, like trillions, right? And everyone's going to want a slice of that pie. Just like everyone wanted a slice of the .com world, and I remember that. Everyone wants a slice of the AI world. So there are there's off-ramp solutions and things like that, and like I have my own solution, but it's still a bit higgledy-piggledy. I would like to see it more, things be a little smoother, a little easier. We need the rails to do it. I mentioned to you about Fireblocks, and it's just there's just no. It's been weeks and weeks and weeks. Fireblocks is useless at their communication. So I've asked twice. I've made a couple. I even called, and they took some notes, and yeah, we'll get back to you, etc. They don't get back, and they. Some people put it down to the market being quiet, etc. But I just don't buy that. This is the best time to be ready. Like in any enterprise, when things are quiet, you get your house tidy, get ready for the influx, and be able to cope with what comes. And they don't reach out. If Fireblocks had PulseChain on their network, they have 150. I think they have 150 clients, and PulseChain isn't one. Why? Because if they were, we could off ramp that bit easier with certain service providers.
I've never heard of Fireblocks, but presumably you can bridge to ETH and do stuff like that, can you, with Fireblocks? Not that I'm suggesting that's a great route, by the way, but
no, it's not. But it's a route nonetheless. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Like everyone has their way of managing their. If you need access to funds, then it's good to be able to make those funds to make them go where you need them to be, and not having Fireblocks makes that difficult.
but there's many other things, aren't there, where PulseChain just seems to be the black sheep of the family, forgive that expression perhaps, but I mean,
Yeah.
you've got the whole Robbie wallet situation. You've got the fact that Ledger, or not Ledger, but Trezor doesn't support directly Pulse Chain. I mean, yes, you can use it on the wallet, but you can't get your balances, etc. And it does feel that we are kind of ignored by the rest of the crypto world. Whether that's a Richard Hart plan, I don't know. But yet, everything that Liberty Swap is doing seems to be trying to bring everything together, where Pulse Chain is almost at the center of the crypto world.
Yeah. Blocks is good infrastructure, and no, they're huge. Like they paint the impression of being huge globally with their social side of things, but the communication just doesn't match at all.
Mm.
I might wind it up, Hexy. What do you reckon? Are you happy with that?
Yeah, oh yeah, no, it's been brilliant as always. Let's hope we get some. I'm sure we will get some more snippets from Nine over the next few hours, and
Yeah.
really look forward to seeing what happens over the coming days. And thanks, Osprey, for hosting as always.
This was a good VC. I enjoyed this one. You know, it's good to listen. Yeah, have a good week, my friend, and we'll chat next week, I hope.
Take care, you too.
Cheers, pal. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Quinn. Thanks for chatting.
Before we close the stream, I just sorry, the PC. I just got Uber. I'm just. Have you heard of Helios Pay from Trust Network?
No.
When you were talking earlier about ramps.
Helios.
Yeah. Did you say?
No, not me. I heard of Zero Trust, absolutely. But Helios Pay, no.
Yes. It's not direct necessarily. Basically integrated with something like which was really hard to do, figuring it out where just be if you go to when you press the currencies or whatever, you would cryptocurrency and was basically replicated the entire site and everything was priced then in cryptocurrency. The point being is these things that I'm starting to see is payment bills that are starting to appear. So I'm hoping that's going to lead to some pretty awesome ramps as well. The Zero Trust Network are just doing a lot of amazing stuff. A lot.
I'll check that out, Stephen. I have that.
Myself, so I don't think there's probably maybe not many videos out there to be honest on it. So, but yeah, have a look, man.
It makes me wonder what ProveX will be when it comes out of beta as well, because ProveX seems to have it has rails into major payments operators. I wonder where that will lead. You know, I find ProveX quite interesting like that.
Absolutely. I was listening to something the other day, and I think it's Alex McWhirter, and basically who did Hedron, and he's doing the called Cappy, and he was talking. He's basically trying to do it so it's integrated with ProveX, and it's going to be so simple. It's going to be like a click of a button, and that he wants to try and design things is with. I don't know, like the dream of crypto onboarding, but just making it easy. Like, sit this person and okay, now you put your money into whatever onboard rail you have, and then okay, now you connect it to chain, and then you find this contract address and da 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 da. There's all these steps, and it's not that big of a deal. But when you're on board like a completely new person, like even now, Greg was saying, "Oh, I'll talk to the taxi driver, the Uber driver," and I mentioned crypto, and I got no response. But if you had some sort of card and I could be like, oh, here's this code, and you just scan the QR code, and basically there you go, you've got your set up, and it's all on PulseChain ready to go. That would be like the ultimate state, but we're not there yet.
Not yet, we're not, but we could be. It feels like, fingers crossed, right?
I think it's inevitable, man. But
Yeah.
it's just we're just not there yet. I mean, no one else is really doing it. No one else is really building. Oh, maybe I'm being naive. I'm not sure what chains are doing. To be perfectly honest, they all seem to be so focused on faster, quicker transactions and plugging into the system and making chains systems. It doesn't really seem like any of them are being anything innovative. But I'm not too sure.
No, I get what you're saying. That's what I don't really check in. I used to scrabble around on Polygon, and that was a very long time, long before I got to PulseChain. But I checked in maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago just to see how certain projects, whether they had made it or not, and they all die. That's what I noticed. Everything I had interest in at the time that promoted longevity and that they'd be around for a long time. They weren't. They were gone, and the people were gone, and they just move where I guess people just move where the capital is, or where it looks to be pouring in. Um, I can see people coming to PulseChain. That's what I can see. Eventually.
Yeah.
But we're early, aren't we? Like you say.
Yep.
I'll wind up the VC. Is that cool with you, Stephen? You happy with that? I think you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'll go back and listen to the video chat for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely am
Cool.
keen to hear what Bavarian had to say about the 99 Capital and the L2. So I'll definitely go back and listen to it.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Yeah, sorry to keep you up actually, but yeah, thanks guys and girls.
Sure, man. Safe home. Thanks for coming on too, and good to hear from everyone. I'll post this recording straight away in main chat and tag a few people. So cool.
I think ColorPay will have a big role on PulseChain.
Reddit resources. I didn't catch that.
I mean, I think PulsePay will have a big role on PulseChain because Liberty Swap is also talking with them.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Colossus Pay. I'll make a note of that myself. And have you seen that on Liberty Swap posts, I assume?
They're communicating together, and Colossus Pay seems very innovative payment solution with cards you can use in the real world. And this is only my personal opinion. I think it's Richard Hart because it seems they started in 2025.
Colossus. I see a website here. I'm not sure if I'm on the right website though. ETH Strategy Incorporated, a Delaware corporation. This could be a different company, but okay, I'll make a note of that and have a look and see. So isn't that interesting? We've spoken. So Stephen, you and I, we've been speaking about 3 different payment providers have come up in the conversation. So there's clearly enterprises out there that are positioning themselves for this expected for a customer base. I was in my mind, I was citing Ultimo. That's the service provider I'm trying to get Fireblocks to plug into. But if Fireblocks plug into PulseChain, then Ultimo can authorize PLS for off ramping. But
Colossus Pay seems to be perfect for PulseChain because they are saying it's a permissionless credit card network built on stablecoins, and the rate is Colossus.credit.
Yeah, I see it now. That's the one I'm on. It has, yeah, okay, it has, yeah. The next credit card network. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I have a good look at this and maybe reach out and just send I have an email that I wrote to Fireblocks. I'll just switch it up and if this fits with what Colossus are doing, I'll just send the same email and see can we get a little conversation. Like all these things count, just little hits each day. It all counts. It can lead somewhere, you know. Thanks for that, Reddit. That's interesting.
Yeah, I just because Liberty Swap is directly communicating with Colossus Pay, so I think they are co-working.
Have you seen? Is there like anything we can see where Liberty Swap have communicated with them, or is it just something you know from other sources? Maybe it's okay if you can't say it's
Post up click on X.
okay. Cool. Oh, cool. This is interesting. All right. Thanks for that. Yeah, gonna wind it up, guys and girls. Have an excellent rest of the day, and thanks for joining in, everybody. That was really good. Good listening. That was good listening.